like it's been forever since I've had an update for you guys. It has been forever. I think the last time I had a video on this car, it was on 1 pound of boost. Not anymore. I've been really lazy about making videos and giving you guys updates. I've just honestly been enjoying the car, tuning on it. I've had some help from a buddy of mine, Mike Drexel. He's helped me dial in the VVT issue that we were having. We were unable to get VVT to respond correctly, and he helped remote in and figure out that it was just a bad gear. I mean, we tried every setting possible and it wouldn't respond the way we wanted it to respond. So he got in and he took a log and examined it and was like, man, you got a bad VVTi gear. Sure enough, put a VVTi gear in there, started responding. So now with the help of Mike, we've got that tuned in. We've got the car tuned up to a nice safe level. I'm not sure where we left off last time as far as the where we were at with the engine and the transmission, the rest of the setup. So I'll just kind of do a brief synopsis of what we've been doing. Nothing much has changed in the engine. It's really all the same. I don't think that we have added anything to the engine setup. It's all still just the 2JZ with GSC Stage 1 cams, stock bottom end, 6466, log manifold, 46mm wastegate, 1700 injectors, twin Walbert 525s. So I don't think that anything has really changed. I'm almost certain of it. Now, as far as the transmission tuning, we're on a new update, 1.1.3, and it's working out okay. We've still got a little bit of work to do on the transmission tuning. We did add a couple of features to the car. We added in pit lane limiter. I think that was on there last time though. Maybe, I don't know. If it wasn't, it is now. And I've got some videos of using it, so I'll upload those here to show you guys. And we've also got this little knob here. This knob is an AEM 12 position, even though it goes from 0 to 11, but it's a boost dial. You just turn it, boop, turn it up to 11. So I've got it set up to where 0 is wastegate and 11 is max boost. Somewhere between max and wastegate is what it will be on, depending on what we run into. I've not had to use more than about 20 pounds of boost. So if I can recap correctly, I think on 1 pound it went like 13.5 at 107 on street tires. All right. I think we went like 1160 at 127 on 14 pounds or something. Like, it wasn't much. I know on 10 pounds I did 1170 at like 121 or 122, and that's my wastegate pressure. So we put a 10-pound spring in it and we're like, well, let's just go see what it does. I think it made 300 and oh, this is also on 93 octane, keep in mind. I think it made 385 on 10 pounds. And then it went 1170 just on street tires, just spinning at 121, 122, somewhere around there. So the slowest the car will ever be is an 1170, or really trapping 121, 122 on 93. We did do a couple of 60 to 130s. I think 10 pounds did 940 off the rolling anti-lag, no rolling anti-lag, I think. That was just leaning into third. And then same thing, I think we went 20 pounds on 93. Yep, right at 20, like peaking 20. Spinning all of third. Completely useless in third on street tires. And when I say street tires, I mean 888s, like not Hoosiers. So it did a 665 on 93 octane at about 20 pounds of boost. And I was pulling a ton of timing out of it. I felt like I was hearing a bit of pre-ignition, but it wasn't, because I pulled all the timing out of it and the noise was still there. So I'm not sure what it was. It might have been something flapping underneath the car or in the front. Doesn't do it anymore. But I never added the timing back in on pump gas. So I'm sure it would have done like a 630 or so on 93. I never got a quarter mile on the pump gas, the final pump gas tune, but I suspect with it doing a 660, it would trap about 135 miles an hour on the quarter. And that's just based off of, there's like a calculator you can use. And it's been pretty accurate. I mean, it was dead on for my 60 to 130 on 10 pounds. I mean, 940 and 121, 122 trap is like exactly what they run. So I expect it to be somewhere in the mid 130s on pump gas at the most. Now my last car did 1090 at 136 on the 85. That was a JZ E30 and it's 5-speed. So this car is most definitely on pump 93, a 10-second car. Honestly, 135 miles an hour is good enough for nines if I could get traction, which is nuts to think that that's even remotely possible on pump gas. Now we've converted to E85, so now I have anywhere between 10 and an undisclosed amount of boost on setting 11. Not done any testing yet on E85. I've only ran into some cars that I'll show you here in a second that were formidable opponents for this car. We did a run with an M340i with a, I think it's a DAW, a Daw Ultra Flow turbo upgrade on it, and port injection, you know, downpipe, like the normal full bolt on M340i with upgraded turbos, Ultra Flows. Now this guy was on an E85 blend, a low blend, and had his wife and his kid in the car. So he was a little weighed down. It's all-wheel drive, they're pretty heavy, and I just had me and Justin in the car. And so it wasn't really a fair race. I mean, even though we both had passengers and he had a kid, which doesn't weigh much, he wasn't on his full E85 map. So we're gonna try it again one day just to see. And I'm not gonna turn the boost up on him. We're just gonna run it exactly the same way it was. But here's the race on that one. So as you can see, that was pretty bad. That was a rolling anti-lag in third at about 50. The car is just a rocket right off the hit. It spins third, and then when you shift into fourth, it kind of gets a little sideways. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but it does. We were basically on a cruise. Me and Justin really just wanted to test out the durability of the car and see if it would make a long distance drive, and it did. We made it from Shreveport, Louisiana to Tyler, Texas, and then stopped at a gas station and drove all the way back with no hiccups, no problems whatsoever. Also, almost on a full tank of E85. We did have to like we had to go back and forth a couple of times to different gas stations because the week of this cruise, all of our town, Shreveport, lost power. Like 250,000 people were without power. and it was like the hottest day of the year. I think it got up to like 115 heat index. So the car was running in the absolute worst possible conditions it could possibly run in. So we ran into him. There were some people along the way. There was a Heads Cam Z06 C6 on 93. I didn't get that one on video, but believe me, it was a massacre. A lot of these races didn't even feel like races, to be honest with you. They were just me making a pull next to a car, and they were nowhere in sight. It was ridiculous. It just kind of goes to show you how fast this car really is compared to some kind of, I don't want to call them run-of-the-mill cars, because these cars are not run-of-the-mill. They are fast cars. They're just, this car is just really a lot faster than I thought it would be. And these guys, I don't think they were a fair race for me. So I need to probably up my standards a little bit. But it's been a while since I've raced, so I didn't know what I was going to run into. There was a new C8 Corvette. The Corvette was bone stock. The guy got it on video. I don't think we took video of it. We were just kind of cruising, and I did not expect the gap that got put on this car. It was ridiculous. It was just about as bad as the 340i, to be honest with you. But here's that video here. As you can see, it doesn't look like he was going, but I promise you he was going. I actually had to slow back down and ask him if he went. He said yeah. Met up afterwards. He most definitely was in it. It just doesn't have enough. Really expected a closer race with the C8, but I guess not when this car weighs what it weighs and makes the power that it makes. What else? S550. He pulled up on me and wanted to run, so I just gave him a really brief third gear pull, just hit it. We already knew what was going to happen, so I just hit a third gear pull and let out of it. Another guy with a S550 wanted to run 30 roll, and that was a massacre too. I think that's about it that I've gotten. So really, I haven't really been racing a bunch of cars, but I'm going to try to get some 60 to 130 pulls in the setup now on E85 and kind of compare it to my pump gas. I'm going to do 10 pounds, and then I'm going to do 20, and then I'm going to try to see if I can break into the fives. I think it'll do it. I think I'll do fives. Did 660 on 93. I would fully expect it to do fives. And if it does it pretty fairly easy, then I'm gonna shoot for fours. I mean, why not? I think it's got the power and it's got the weight advantage that it could do it for. Oh yeah, so I had to take the 888s off because when we were tuning up on the 85 beyond 20 pounds, it was just not getting any traction at all, even in fourth gear. So fourth gear was just like, it was stupid. I wanted to tune in fourth because I don't want to go 100 and whatever mile an hour fifth gear goes to. So we used fourth until we couldn't, and then we had to go and use fifth. So we got tuned on fifth gear rolling, and anyways, I had to buy some Hoosiers for it. So bought some DR2s. These things are the stickiest tire I've ever felt in my life. especially for a radial. It's rubbing the sidewall pretty bad, as you can see, and little boogies. These are so sticky. Like, you can pull this off and use it, and it sticks to your finger. Pull it off, use it for sticky tack. But I had to roll the shit out of these fenders, which sucked because I'm like really bad at body work, so I did a pretty terrible job. But we'll get that fixed one day. We'll do a bunch of body work on this car. As you can see here, they're rubbing really bad, and they're like burning the paint. But whatever, I needed them, and I'm gonna have to have them if I want to run any respectable times on a roll. So I got some old clips I'm gonna post up and show y'all. A couple of those races, and then I've got a couple of people that want to give it a shot. So, you know, we'll pick and choose very carefully where we do these things at, and try to make some good runs. And I do want to hit the track. We were supposed to have, there was talks of the track reopening here, and I would have loved to go out there and get a baseline. I would have loved to do like a roll race event out there or something, because then it would be nice and you know, and legal for one. Not that I don't trust the car. The car is perfectly safe. I think everything is nice and sound on it. We've tested it enough, but you know, you can get sketchy on the street. Got to be very careful. We did have to put axles in it. We twisted the splines on one of the axles. I don't have a picture of it, and I threw them upstairs. But we twisted the splines on one of the axles. It didn't break, it just twisted. And the boots were busted, and they were original, they were old. And it's not that I couldn't have continued to use them, but I had some old CA tuned chromoly axles. We threw those in there. They seemed to be doing okay. I thought that I broke the diff, or thought that I broke the axle, but I didn't. It was what was it? I think it was my shocks were like the locking collar on my shocks were loose, and they were kind of flopping around making some noise. So I got that fixed. My drive shaft bolts did come loose at the flange, at the transmission. So we checked those periodically. We tightened them down with Loctite. We didn't use Loctite before because we're idiots, but we used it this time. They've not budged. I do want to get a new drive shaft for it though. I've been thinking about taking it to a local company that built a aluminum drive shaft for my buddy Adam in his Supra. He has a 1200 horsepower Supra with a turbo 400 in it. It's absolutely gorgeous, dream car, right-hand drive. And he had it built locally by a guy out of aluminum. Mine's mild steel. And I think I want to take my drive shaft to him and just say, hey, make this out of aluminum, and hope that it gets my vibration taken care of. It's not giving me any problems, but it's still just kind of like in the back of my mind. It's back there like, something's not right. You know, when's it gonna let go? We're gonna max this turbo out and see what it makes, and we're hoping somewhere in the 700s. I think that's pretty reasonable for a 6466 with a cammed JZ on ethanol. You know, 30 PSI should probably be right in the 700s. You know, we probably could go up to about 35 pretty safely and make the mid to high 700s. So it kind of depends on, it really depends on traction at this point. Are we gonna have enough traction to even be able to turn it up that much? Who knows? I don't think we will. These Hoosiers are only 255 50 16s. So anyways, I know this is like a really long update. I'm probably missing something, so I'll probably go back in and edit and add some stuff to it. But yeah, that's where we're at with it. So I'm gonna continue to tune the transmission as best I can for drivability. It's a little rough on takeoff, on the take up still. So if I could just fix that, we'd be good. Got the downshifts fixed. I don't have drive-by-wire, so I don't have automatic blipping, but I've got a pretty good right foot and timing, and it's pretty cool. I can just like kind of downshift and blip the throttle myself, and it works. It actually sounds cool. Yeah, so that's it. That's that's kind of the update. I don't really know what else I'm forgetting. I'm sure there's something, but if I remember, I'll update it. And yeah, that's it. Till next time.
Miss my foot.
Arr, matey. Hey man, he's making do. Damn, he just on that thing. God, that's gotta hurt. Hey bro, we're gonna give you some. We're gonna give you something for the effort. It's all good.